Is the UK pushing immigrants away? It's a question that's echoing through policy debates, university lecture halls, and everyday conversations in 2025. For years, the UK was a magnet for talent, students, and workers from around the world. But now, with new immigration rules, rising restrictions, and stricter visa requirements, many are asking if the doors are quietly closing. Why the sudden shift? What does this mean for Britain's workforce, economy, and global image? In this video, we'll unpack the UK's immigration shakeup, reveal how immigrants have shaped the country, and explore what a future with fewer migrants could look like. 1. The UK's new immigration strategy. What's changing? The UK government's latest immigration white paper, released in 2025, marks a bold attempt to overhaul the current system. The aim? To reduce overall migration by approximately 100,000 people annually. The document, titled "Restoring Control Over Our Borders," outlines sweeping reforms targeting several visa pathways. Here's a quick breakdown of the main proposals. Higher visa barriers. The skilled worker visa threshold now requires applicants to hold degree-level qualifications, and the lower-skilled immigration route has been eliminated. No more shortage occupation list. Previously, jobs in short supply, such as care work, were fast-tracked. That list is now gone. Stricter language requirements. All migrants must meet higher English language standards before entering the country. Limited family visas. New rules reduce who qualifies to join family members under Article 8 of the European Convention on Human Rights. International students. The length of time students can stay post-graduation has been cut from 2 years to 18 months. Settlement delayed. Permanent residency now takes 10 years instead of 5, unless migrants can prove exceptional economic or social contribution. The government's narrative is one of control, fairness, and prioritizing the brightest and the best. But critics argue these policies may end up deterring exactly the kinds of migrants Britain needs most. 2. Why is the UK tightening immigration rules? So, what's driving this push to slash immigration? A mix of political and practical concerns. From overcrowded GP surgeries to packed classrooms and the housing crunch, public anxiety around immigration has been rising. According to a 2024 YouGov poll, nearly 60% of Britons felt immigration levels were too high. That's a powerful sentiment, and one politicians can't afford to ignore. The government says these reforms are about fairness and sustainability. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak emphasized that high immigration levels were unsustainable and that Britons must have confidence that we're controlling our borders. But not everyone agrees with this narrative. Many economists and migration experts argue that the real issues, underfunded infrastructure, wage stagnation, and housing shortages, can't be pinned solely on migration. The Institute for Fiscal Studies and London School of Economics both highlight that immigration is often used as a political scapegoat when domestic policies fall short. Is the UK pushing immigrants away? If not deliberately, then perhaps by design. 3. The economic value of immigrants to the UK. Let's talk numbers, because when it comes to economic contribution, immigrants are not a burden, they're a bonus. According to Oxford University's Migration Observatory, EU migrants contributed over £20 billion more in taxes than they took in services between 2000 and 2020. Non-EU immigrants, after adjusting for demographics, also had a net positive impact. Let's break it down. Healthcare. Around 15% of NHS staff are foreign-born, including over 30% of doctors. Education. Foreign-born teachers are essential, especially in underserved regions. Construction and transport. Migrants make up over 17% of these sectors, critical for housing development and supply chains. Hospitality. Without immigrants, hotels and restaurants would grind to a halt, And then there are international students who add roughly £42 billion to the UK economy each year. They fund universities, local economies, and innovation hubs across the country. In other words, immigrants don't just fill jobs. They power the very systems that allow Britain to function. 4. How reduced immigration could affect the UK workforce. Let's paint a picture of what fewer immigrants could actually mean for Britain's workforce. And, spoiler alert, it's not just about empty restaurant tables. 1. Workforce shortages are already here. The sectors most reliant on immigrant labor are the same ones already stretched to their limits. Take adult social care, for instance. According to Skills for Care, the UK needed to fill over 165,000 care jobs in 2024. Many of these roles were historically filled by overseas workers. But with the government now pausing recruitment from abroad, care homes are bracing for a full-blown staffing crisis. That means longer wait times, burnt-out carers, and vulnerable people not getting the help they need. Healthcare is another concern. Roughly 30% of NHS doctors and 14% of nurses are non-British nationals. Without them, hospital services could be stretched even further than they already are. 2. Wages could rise, but so could prices. Some argue that cutting immigration will push up wages by reducing job competition. That may happen in the short term, but who pays the price? You do. Businesses facing labor shortages may hike prices to stay afloat. Expect more expensive Uber rides, costlier groceries, and longer queues in every sector, from logistics to hospitality. 3. A blow to education and innovation. Let's not forget Britain's universities. International students contribute billions in tuition fees and local spending. If fewer come, universities could slash courses, delay research, or even shut down departments, hitting the UK's global academic reputation hard. Bottom line, reducing immigration without a backup plan won't fix workforce problems. It might just make them worse. 5. Public opinion and political balancing acts. Here's where it gets complicated. British public opinion on immigration is deeply mixed. Yes, people want control, but they also want functioning hospitals, buses, and universities. A 2025 British Future report found that 2/3 of respondents support immigration when it fills key gaps in sectors like healthcare, tech, and education. The media, however, often highlights the negatives. Stories about migrant hotel costs or benefit scroungers dominate the headlines, skewing public perception. This puts pressure on politicians to look tough, even when the data shows that immigrants are essential to national prosperity. Ending the shortage occupation list may look good on a news ticker, but for farmers, care home operators, or restaurant managers, it's a logistical nightmare. Ultimately, it's not just about numbers, it's about nuance, how we define, value, and manage migration in a way that meets both economic and ethical goals. 6. The road ahead. What's next for immigration and the economy? Can the UK have both control and compassion? The answer lies in smart strategic reform, not blanket bans. Experts suggest several solutions. Sector-specific visas. Create flexible visa categories for industries with acute shortages like agriculture, social care, and hospitality. Invest in training. Build a stronger domestic workforce by improving education and vocational training, but don't expect overnight results. Improve integration. Raise English standards, but pair that with proper support. Language classes, housing help, and career mentoring. Reform the student route. Make the post-study work visa more appealing to top talent without compromising on immigration controls. The Migration Advisory Committee continues to highlight the economic necessity of immigration. Business groups like the CBI and FSB have warned that over-tightening the system could backfire, causing inflation, labor shortages, and slower GDP growth. And there's the human element, too. At its core, immigration isn't just about numbers or policies, it's about people. Students chasing dreams, families seeking safety, workers looking to contribute. So, is the UK pushing immigrants away? If it wants to stay globally competitive and socially inclusive, it might be time to roll out the welcome mat. Strategically, but sincerely. Thanks for staying with us till the end. We hope this gave you a fresh perspective on the question, is the UK pushing immigrants away? What do you think? Is Britain closing itself off, or just redefining its future? Drop a comment below, subscribe for more, and let's keep the conversation going.